If you're a digital agency owner and you're adding on a coaching or consulting or online education mentorship arm to your business, there's a few roles and a few hires that you're really going to need to make your business more scalable and really start to grow. Now, the thing is, depending upon how you have your current agency structured, you might already have some of these people. They're just doing way too many things. So let's jump into the key hires and roles that you're going to need to add on a successful coaching and consulting program inside of your agency. Let's do it. For 3 years, my agency built funnels and automation systems for the biggest names in marketing today. Since then, I've transformed that agency into a hyper-profitable training and consulting business. While everyone is out there talking about scale like it's some sort of destination, we'll be asking the real question. How do you transform your business into a more scalable model using the knowledge, skills, and expertise that you already have? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share the strategies I'm using to build my multi-million-dollar business. My name is Greg Hickman, and welcome to Scalable. Hey guys, welcome back. And like I said, in this episode, I really want to talk about the key hires and roles that you're going to need inside of your agency to add on a coaching and consulting program, some sort of group element that is one-to-many versus the done-for-you version of your service. So a done-with-you program, this could be a productized service, this could be a group coaching program. This honestly might be a progression from a one-on-one productized service into a group coaching or consulting program. Either way, the roles are pretty much the same. And as a digital agency owner, depending upon where you're at with your team, you might actually have a few of these people already on your team or within reach that have been contractors in the past, or maybe they've been steady contractors that you've worked with really and you're working with right now. So I want to share kind of a list of people that I believe you're going to need. It's a small but lean and mean team that are going to help you as the agency owner add on this new revenue stream that is way more profitable, way more leverage, and is going to give you back that freedom and allow you to start pulling back from the done-for-you services. Now, if you're new here, really quick, my name is Greg Hickman, and on this podcast and channel, we talk about how you can really create more leverage and freedom inside of your digital agency by adding on more, by adding on consulting, coaching, and online education and training programs that complement your existing services. So if you're new here and you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube, and or hit that subscribe button on iTunes, wherever the heck you're listening to this or watching this. Be sure to continue checking us out because we release episodes every single week. That being said, who are these key hires? Now, because each and every agency is going to be different, who you already have and don't have is going to be different based on your levels. I'm going to share the top roles in no specific order, but then I'll make my suggestion and also my story quickly on how I hired, because again, we transitioned from done-for-you agency into a group model. And again, just like you, I had people already available to me that were doing some of these things. So with that being said, let's dive in. The first hire, or the first role that you need to hire, again, no specific order here. The first role is an executive assistant. This is someone who's going to help you manage your life. You will find people that will say you don't need this person. I've gone without them and I've gone with them. And for me, this is a part-time role. I'm still evolving my usage of an executive assistant, but this person helps me book travel. They do some personal stuff for me as well as business stuff. And they really manage my inbox, make sure that opportunities that are coming my way are dealt with, invitations to being on podcasts, rescheduling certain calls, coordinating with my team to make sure that I can get on their calendar and they can get on mine. Again, email management, calendar management are huge for me. But the executive assistant, because their role is to help me manage my time better as the owner, they are getting involved in a little bit of some personal stuff. So they are helping me kind of coordinate with my wife around, taking our son to daycare and pickup. And hey, daycare is going to be closed early today. You should go figure this out. Or hey, have you gotten a babysitter because you have date night coming up? So a lot of these things that help me show up to focus on the real things that I need to be really focused on and put my energy towards inside the business happen because I have this executive assistant. Now, when I got mine, and I've gone through a couple, they've evolved within our company, they've taken on other roles, but I've always started with about 10 to 15 hours a week. And I slowly roll them into more and more stuff. My goal is to have that person get really good at optimizing me, the owner, before adding on any other sort of business tasks. My executive assistant right now, she really helps us coordinate a lot of our in-person events. So with our coaching clients and our mentorship clients, they come into town 3-4 times a year for a 2-day event. So my executive assistant, Amanda, she'll coordinate with the hotel. She'll make the reservations. She'll get the contract signed. She'll figure out the food menus. And so she makes sure that that event happens. She coordinates with the rest of the team on certain things. So we've added that responsibility to her plate over time. Before that, she was really just focused on how do I make Greg more efficient? And that's really what your executive assistant would probably start doing. And I would encourage you as well to start with this person maybe 10 to 20 hours a week and start giving them different things. I've bought courses for my executive assistant to go through on how to be a better executive assistant so that she can learn, and then we'll review those things. So the executive assistant is there to help manage my life and make me kind of free to focus on serving my team, serving my clients, and spending as much of my time in creation mode as possible. That might be creating new training for our clients. That might be doing sales calls, etc. So role number 1, executive assistant. Role number 2, the operations manager. You might call this a project manager. As you kind of get into the online coaching world and online education world, you'll probably hear OBM, online business manager. But this is the person that really runs the business. This is the person that kind of takes your ideas, because as the owner, as the entrepreneur, you're likely the visionary. And you're going to say, hey, this is what I want to happen. This is what I want it to look like. And they're going to help you figure out the logistics. They might need to go hire a contractor. They might need to coordinate with another team member, but they're the one kind of managing the project. They're the one that's likely using the project management tools and saying, hey, we're on track, we're off track, or here's what we need from you by when, or here's what we need from this person by then. Here are all of the things that need to be done, checklists, timelines. That is the operations manager. This is a critical role. And what I've found with most agencies, at least if they're more established, and typically if they're doing over 20K a month in revenue, they probably have this person. It's like likely a project manager, or maybe it's like part project manager, part account manager. But you likely have this person, and kind of their function is going to be relatively the same as you start adding this on, but they're going to be a really key role for you. Now, for me, in my situation, my operations manager also was an account manager when we were doing a lot of our done-for-you agency services. And not only that, because she was working on accounts, she was really good with certain elements of implementation, that, the fulfillment for our clients. So she kind of wears multiple hats for us, but slowly and surely we're removing more and more fulfillment for us. That might be the same situation for you. And this is where I see a really good opportunity for agency owners, is that they have some of these pieces in-house where the operations manager can start obviously helping run the business, make it run more smoothly, but they're able to jump into some of that client fulfillment if needed, which could help you accelerate through the kind of the process of transforming from agency into a coaching and consulting model, if that makes sense. So executive assistant, operations, or project manager. The third role is a marketing execution person, call it a marketing coordinator. Depending upon, again, where you're at in your agency, the marketing strategy is typically coming from you. And if you're like most agency owners, you don't have much of a marketing strategy because you're kind of the classic case of the cobbler's kids have no shoes, and you're doing everything for your clients, but you're not doing what you could be doing for yourself. And so as the owner, you're probably going to lead the vision, a lot of the concepts and the content messaging, but you need someone to execute on that. So if you're going to be producing, a weekly YouTube show or a podcast, or scheduling emails to your email list, or setting up landing pages, you're going to want someone to execute on your marketing ideas. Someone that's in the trenches tactically taking your content, repurposing it. And again, you, the owner, are likely going to be the manager. I highly discourage you from trying to hire an agency to create all the content for you, because A, it's going to be probably outside of your budget, and two, the amount of time that's going to take for them to learn your voice is going to take a really long time, especially since you haven't been doing it, or if you haven't been doing it, you need to figure that stuff out yourself before. So again, you're going to continue to wear the hat of marketing manager, and you're going to be hiring some sort of marketing execution person. The next person is a salesperson. Now, this one's going to be a little bit controversial, maybe depending upon who you're talking to or where you're at in the progression and growth of your agency. Most coaching and consulting businesses or online course businesses, people selling high ticket, right? The owner will likely be the sales rep until what I've found is a critical threshold of you're generating 10 qualified strategy sessions or consultations a week, which means if you're the sales representative, you're on about 10, 45 to 60-minute consultations every single week. That's 10 hours a week. If you're consistently doing that week after week after week, not just you've done it one week and then it went away, but you're consistently generating 10 qualified consultations each and every week, that's usually the tipping point as when you would want to hire a salesperson. Now, there is definitely some exceptions, and I'm not going to go into all those exceptions. If you have a question, leave it in the comments. But in the kind of high-ticket consulting space, so if you're an agency and you're kind of new to this world and you're adding this stuff, just know that you're probably going to be the one responsible for sales. Now, the sales calls are going to be essentially brought to you because you're going to have automated lead generation and a filtration system that is only putting qualified leads on your calendar to get to those 10. But that trigger as to when you should hire a salesperson, from my experience and from the sales coaches that I've personally worked with and hired and paid tens of thousands of dollars to, almost all of them say you need to be generating 10 qualified consultations or strategy sessions per week before you go get a sales rep. So if you're able to do that, the 10 a week, a salesperson is another key role because you are going to want to get out of the sales process most likely if you're the owner of the business, depending upon how big you want to grow. But again, if you're spending 10, 15, 20 hours a week on sales calls, that's a lot of time back that you can be focused on growing your business, hiring more of the right people, and focusing on some of the other pieces like the content and the vision that is going to be needed from you in order to keep growing. So we have executive assistant, we have operations manager or project manager, we have a marketing execution person, we have a salesperson, and then the next is a customer delivery person. Now, depending upon, again, as an agency owner, you probably have one or two of these people already. As you evolve into the one-to-many model, you'll typically see different styles of customer delivery roles. If your program or your education program is very community-based, or you're dealing with a lot of inbound customer support through like a help desk system, you're probably going to want some sort of customer support person answering tickets, providing feedback. If you are more of the coach consultant side, you might want some sort of success coach that is available for either one-on-one calls or maybe they're managing a couple group calls a week, answering questions about the content and training that you've been providing. So that could very well, in many cases, depending upon what your services offer, what that program result is, what what you're selling, whatever that transformation is for your clients, you might have that person already. They might have been an implementer. They might have been that account manager, and now they're just available as sort of like a success coach, answering questions, Q&A a couple times a week, and or potentially customer support. Now, if you're a productized service where you're still doing elements of implementation for your clients, you're probably going to need that person to be obviously skilled in certain areas. So if you're a web development agency, one of those people in customer delivery might be a web developer. If you guys run Facebook ads and you want someone to be doing Facebook ads for people, you probably need someone that knows how to do Facebook ads. In our situation, we used to design funnels and build out marketing automation for people. So again, my account coordinator, who's now my operations manager, she can still do some of those things. And so when we have coaching questions or support questions around automation and funnels, she's easily able to fill in as the coach around that topic. So again, as an agency, you might have certain people that can add on another hat as a part of this transition, where they're now kind of coaching and or providing customer support in and around their area of expertise that maybe previously was implementation. Otherwise, they're just still there for the implementation. Because a key piece of transforming from an agency into a done with you model is when you look at customer fulfillment, your growth potential, your profit potential really comes around your deliverability. How do you make it repeatable? How do you make it duplicatable? And how do you standardize it? And so typically you'll have, on services, you have a fulfillment team, different people that are good at different skill sets. The person who builds the website, the person that does the ads, the person that does the strategy, which might be your situation now. But as you move into coaching, consulting, and mentorship, you're going to be packaging up a lot of your intellectual property, and that's going to be available essentially on demand. And you need to teach people, these other coaches and consultants, how to deliver your intellectual property, right? So that's kind of the transition that you're making from done for you headcount to where is the headcount to support the implementation of the intellectual property that you've packaged. So those are the five, is that five? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 key roles: executive assistant, operations manager, which might be a project manager, marketing execution, a sales rep, and someone in customer delivery, client delivery. Now, obviously, as you grow, there might be other positions that you might need as contracted roles. You might need a copywriter. You might, if you have a podcast or you do videos like this, you might have a video editor that's a contracted position. You probably want an accountant and a bookkeeper, which might be, licensing or not licensing, paying out another marketing service provider or, an accounting service, possibly a lawyer, depending upon what you're doing. So there's other roles that might come in temporarily that would be contract. But when I look at all of our clients, our business, my peers' businesses, you look at the most successful coaching, consulting, and training companies out there, they all almost always have these 5 roles. And if you're looking for a lean and mean team, these are the key roles that are probably going to get you back into your zone of genius, or at least allow you to focus more time into your zone of genius and focus on growth. Because if you're stuck in fulfillment, the business is tied to you. Then if you're stuck in sales, the growth is tied to you, and you don't really want either of those things over time. Now, if you're not able to do those right away, that's fine. You're going to have to wear those hats. It will be a temporary thing. But if you start adding systems and leverage automation in and around the areas where these roles would operate within your business, which is what we help our clients with, then you know exactly what systems to create first, because then you create the system, then you put the person within the system to manage that system, and you're making that person's life a whole lot easier, so that you know that your ops manager or your sales rep is operating within a repeatable, predefined process that you've created. That's where you start to get a lot of the repeatability, the scalability, and the profit margins, and really the freedom that come with having this leveraged part of your agency, this coaching and mentorship and training arm of your agency. So I hope you found this helpful. I'd love to hear if you have any questions. If you have a question, leave a comment below. We'll talk to you guys soon. If I gave you 5 to 10 new clients, would you or your agency break? If so, your current agency model is broken. I struggled with this too until I found a better way. By adding online programs, training, and coaching to our agency, we doubled profits without adding more hours. If you want to work directly with me and my team to transform your agency, visit myscalablebusiness.com to learn more.